Welcome back to First Things First. Undisputed coming up in about 11 minutes. Holly Saunders in for Joy Taylor. Holly, what will you and the guys get into today?
Hey, good morning, Ebony. Coming up on Undisputed is the time for Lonzo Ball to finally push back against his father. The guys have some strong convictions about this, and is Isaiah Thomas out of line for throwing shade at the Cavs? How's that going? Plus, Kenyon Martin and Patriots legend Willie McGinnis join us in studio. It's Undisputed coming up next. Ebony, so send it back to you. Keep holding it down in New York.
Thanks, Holly. That sounds like y'all are going to have a lot of fun there with Willie. All right, so we're going to stick with the Ball family here as well. Lavar, well, he told a Lithuanian reporter on Monday that Lonzo and his two other boys, well, they come as a package deal. Lavar says Lonzo will leave the Lakers and find a new team if they don't also sign the two brothers. Chris Carter, it's big talk, big talk. Is it time for Lonzo to speak out on behalf of his father?
It's really hard to get inside of family dynamics. I mean, families function a lot of different ways.
Very true.
And one thing that we're not going to get into is like how someone we think should raise their kids. Now that's always the excuse. Oh, you can't tell a guy how to raise his kids. Well, if it involves a professional team or professional player, he happens to get over in our neck of the woods, which now he is. My brother played in the NBA for 7 years. All my brothers played college basketball. So I've been around a lot of athletics, a lot of families, and their dynamics are all different. I don't expect them to say anything, but you brought up a tremendous point earlier I expect him to have a conversation with the Lakers, because I believe that would not harm or jeopardize the relationship he has with his dad. And that is just basically, let's clear the air and let's just let you know, Magic, because Magic has said so many things about Lonzo just to be able to help him. When he traded for IT's agent said he's not a player to come off the bench. Magic Johnson immediately came out and said, Lonzo is our starting point guard. So you talk about a veteran player, averaged 29 points. You have Magic Johnson, one of the best to ever do it. It's in his first stint as the president of the operation. He's trying to help this kid as much as possible. So I would sit down with Magic, because I just believe Magic, based on what he's experienced in sports, because he's already talked to the dad. Remember, they had a conversation when he was criticizing the coach. So I do believe it is time to have a conversation with Magic Johnson, just so Magic and Lonzo continue to be on the same page, because this is the new normal. Mr. Ball is going to say things every month or so, because this brings attention to his brand. What else is he going to do? I mean, how is he going to make money?
Well, and it is interesting.
I mean, you think he's going to get rich selling shoes?
Well, Cece, and it's interesting who he said it to. ESPN,
in Lithuania.
ESPN done left. We're not out there. Like, I didn't see NBA TV out there.
Right. We hadn't heard anything in a while.
It's to a Lithuanian reporter. Some guy, no disrespect to the Lithuanian media, but the American media has left this, unless, I bet he has been saying things all week, but none incendiary enough to rise this level. And it's now gotten to the caricature stage, because he's talking about now truly an alternate reality. A reality in which, by the end of year 3, Lonzo can leave. He can't.
This is not the cute thing, I'm speaking something into existence.
Right. He has a 4-year contract with the Lakers. In the NBA, after your rookie contract, you either enter restricted free agency, which you are restricted because your drafting team can keep you, or you sign a 1-year qualifying offer. Those are your only 2 options other than retirement. So, 5 years, the Lakers have exclusive rights to Lonzo at a minimum. Okay? So what he's talking about can't actually happen. But the fact that it can't actually happen doesn't mean Lonzo shouldn't say anything. And you're right, we don't like to talk about how one should raise their child. But what I do feel comfortable in saying is this. If you have this outspoken, this prominent of a parent who has gone out of his way to undermine your head coach, and you say nothing, and now he goes out of his way to undermine your future with the team, if you also say nothing, fairly or otherwise, people will start to wonder if you agree with him. So maybe he should do it privately to Magic, maybe he should do it publicly, but Lonzo needs to communicate either to the world or to the powers that be, hey man, my dad talks for my dad. I am here, and or maybe he agrees with him. Maybe he's like, no, it's true. Like, once my brothers are eligible, we play together. But I want to know how he feels.
But the reality show, how else do you create content unless he continues to do things like this? Like, Lonzo being on the Lakers doesn't create content for the show unless there's some drama. And that you have to bring in the other brothers. And, you know, I'm just upset that he thinks Jello is an NBA player.
Sure. And maybe he doesn't, and maybe that's why he's intentionally trying to make sure he's attached to Lonzo's coattails. And I won't try to impute intention onto Lavar Ball because I don't know that man at all. But perhaps he's thinking, if we give him the benefit of the doubt, that this is the best thing for his collective family to try to package them along the coattails of Lonzo here. But whether he thinks it's good for them or not good for them, he is totally undermining the relationship between the Los Angeles Lakers and his currently employed son, who's currently playing in the NBA, and that's a big problem.
Ebony, you're being, I think, kinder than I'm willing to be at this point. LeVar is a lot of things. He is not dumb. And LeVar, the idea that he doesn't know, there are ways to get the brothers on the same team together. How do you think Chris Smith got a contract with the Knicks? JR was there. How do you think Zoran Dragic got a contract with the Miami Heat? Goran was there. You can do this, but you don't set an ultimatum. And additionally, what LeVar also has to know is what the entire basketball world knows. The Los Angeles Lakers are in big fish mode this offseason.
Yes.
Much bigger fish than Lonzo Ball. And it's LeBron James and another guy. And if either one of those guys says, yeah, I'll go, but you know what I'm not dealing with? The crazy dude in Lithuania. You know who pays the price for that? Lonzo does.
See, this is where I'm not being so much nice, Nick. What I think is you are giving LeVar Ball more credit than I'm willing to. I don't think he's that sophisticated in his thinking. I think he's overplaying his hand. I think he thinks his son is a bigger star than he is.
He said a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah,
to be smart.
And exactly. I think that he is grandstanding because he actually thinks that it's feasible to get him the effective result that he wants, and that's where he's sorely mistaken.
Yeah, maybe. Whatever he's doing, it is not in the best interest of his kids right now.
Oh,
that much I know. It is in the best interest of one person right now, and that's LeVar.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. I think he thinks it might be in the best interest of the collective Ball family, but he would be mistaken. I agree with you there. Absolutely. Well, moving on to the Warriors now.
Some people can really play basketball.
Well, hello.
There's no mystery to that.
Hello. Steve Kerr took the night off last night from coaching. Well, kind of. Now, he was on the bench, but he let David West, Andre Iguodala, yes, and Draymond Green ran the huddle in a 129-83 win against Phoenix. The forward, Jared Dudley, well, he ripped the move, saying it showed a lack of respect for an opponent. Here's Kerr after the game.
It's the players' team. It's their team, and they have to take ownership of it. And as coaches, our job is to nudge them in the right direction, guide them. But we don't control them. They determine their own fate, and I don't feel like we focused well at all the last month, and it just seemed like the right thing to do, and I thought they communicated really well together, and they drew up some nice plays, and it was a good night for the guys.
Chris Carter, coach, explaining his reasons. Was it disrespectful?
I don't think it was disrespectful, and I've been following the Warriors fairly close, so I get the sound bites after every game, not just after this 40-point blowout over Phoenix. So Steve Kerr, listen to him. They've been struggling the last month, not only on the court, but they've been struggling as far as their overall attitude. Are they engaged? Technical fouls, being upset at non-calls, this thing where they thought that it was them against the world, against the referees, saying that the referees need to wake up. There's something going on with them. They've had a couple of players say those things this year. So if you follow the Warriors, yes, they struggle for an elite team. It's that high level of struggle. So it's not disrespectful. You know what was disrespectful? Getting outscored by 16 points in the second quarter, Jared Dudley. All right? That was disrespectful. Y'all let the game get out of control. Only down by 1 point the first quarter. They get 37 on you the second quarter. So you go into halftime down by 17. This is when Steve Kerr started making the adjustments. I'm going to allow some players to do some things. But you also have to understand the Warriors. They do this on a daily basis. Their practices, the type of music that they listen to when they travel, and at their home practices. They allow the players to have an input in what they're doing. So I could see this working for Steve Kerr long term in trying to keep them fresh and ready to go because their season doesn't start till the postseason.
I give Kerr an enormous amount of credit for this while believing it was disrespectful. Because he didn't just start letting them coach once it was a blowout. He had guys drawing up plays in the first quarter. And Steve Kerr knew he would take some arrows for this. He knew some people would consider it disrespectful, which is why he sought out Suns coach Jay Triano after the game to specifically say it wasn't intended disrespect.
But would he have done it to Pop?
I don't think he'd have done it to Pop. I don't think he'd have done it in a bigger game against a better opponent. But his job is not to worry about the Suns' feelings. His job is not to worry about respecting the Phoenix Suns. His job is to get the Warriors to a 4th straight finals.
Yes.
And if you don't have LeBron James on your team, you haven't been to 4 straight finals in 30 years in this league. Nobody. He knows how hard that is. And so he is saying right now, you know what? I know what it's like to be Draymond. I've been a player. Draymond doesn't know what it's like to be me. Maybe letting him coach will get him there. David West, a veteran that we might need down the stretch. I need to keep him engaged. So I'm going to let him do a little coaching. Like, I think it was really smart. I think it was forward thinking. I think it made himself vulnerable. I also think it was disrespectful to the Suns, but I don't really care that it was disrespectful to the Suns. Steve Kerr was doing his job last night by letting, oddly enough, his players do his job.
That was the 4th 40-point blowout that the Suns. So everything they've done, from fire to coach, getting rid of Bledsoe, they've done a lot of things that was really embarrassing.
They've been
I think you could call it disrespectful, maybe. Well, that's it for us. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 in the morning.
Big bad.
Stay here, Undisputed.
And tomorrow we'll be back better than
now.
ever.